Before we get on to the news at hand, which of course Divin Mubama, as you'll have seen from the title, is no longer wanted at West Ham. The club have given up. They've absolutely quit on negotiating his contract any further at all. They're going to let him go. And that's that, really. So there's quite a lot to discuss on that one. I didn't think there was going to be much news today, truth be known. And I wasn't going to do a video. But up until I heard the Mubama news, the most newsworthy story was that the sign at the entrance to West Ham's training ground, basically the M at the end of Ham, so it would say West Ham. I'm sure I'll pop a picture up. The M had disappeared recently. So someone's got to log on. Look, someone's either stolen the M, or maybe McDonald's, maybe they're a bit skint or something. Someone's either gone stolen the M, or the M has fallen off, run off. It's got a couple of legs, isn't it? Run off on its own. And so anyway, so West Ham were without an M for their sign. Now, quite clearly, what's happened is they didn't have a spare M at all. All they had was a W. So what they've done, they've stuck the W on upside down, which there are fonts possibly where you might get away with doing that, but whatever the font is that the West Ham use, it's not. It does just look like an upside down W. So anyway, whilst it made me laugh, I didn't think it was completely newsworthy. And I was watching it sort of doing the rounds like on WhatsApp groups and bits and pieces like that. And it was very much, some people were laughing and some people were utterly disgusted. But it's typical West Ham. It's cheapo West Ham. But it sort of got me thinking that imagine if that happened with the letters on the back of the shirt, when you get your... It's never mind actually if you go and order one, because they'd probably wait. But this is necessity more than anything. Imagine when they're doing the player shirts before they go out and play, and they did that, and you would have sort of I don't know, Mohamed Kudus or Konstantinos Wavropanos or something like that. And it just tickled me. But what it did, mate, what I did think when I saw it, which was West Ham, if you change the M at the end of the W, which is what they've done, is actually West Haw. So I'm not sure it was the right thing to do. Anyway, manager David Wise is very unhappy about it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to. Michael Antonio. James Ward-Prowse. That's going the other way, isn't it? James Ward-Prowse. That's the W becoming. That's the M. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. I am going to stop. Actually, allow me one more because we're going to talk about Divin Mubama. Anyway, so. Look, he's been negotiating hard with West Ham. West Ham have basically leaked the news that they can't match his the money that he wants, the money that his agents are asking for. And the quote that's come from them is I think is quite a stinging one, really, which is hopefully he'll go to an English club so we get a tribunal fee. So his contract's expiring. So if he goes and signs for an overseas club, we don't get any money. If it goes to a tribunal, we might get a pittance. We might get sort of £1.5 million or something like that if he were to go to sign for Ipswich. I don't know why I'm picking on Ipswich, but if they would, you get what I'm saying there. I think it's a shame because he could be good, bad, or indifferent, and we just don't know. He's not really had a chance, and I'm not championing him getting a chance right now. Now would be the wrong time. Now is the point in the season where we need all our senior figures back. We really do. We need them back. I want the bench to be strong with Michael Antonio. I'm going to stop with Michael Antonio on there and others, basically. Angelo Ogbonna. Look, all the good players. Calvin Phillips. There's no M's in there. I can't do anything with any of those ones. And I just think, what we need is at the moment, we need Kudus, we need Bowen, and we need Paquetá in the team. So the chance has sort of gone for him, really. But there was a chance early on in the season. There were times when we didn't play with enough attackers, and we really... Not only do I think he would have helped the team, there were games we lost or drew, there was no need. There were games when we didn't really have that many shots. And I think what we would have done is we would have found out how good, I guess, or bad, he was. I don't know how good he's going to be. And I'd always suspected, I think, what I thought, I'm not going to change my tune now, I thought at the time, Callum Marshall would probably go on to do more in the game. But that doesn't mean that there's not a good career out there for Divin Mubama. And just because he necessarily won't be a good fit for West Ham now, doesn't mean that I mean, it was silly letting his contract run down. Just look at what happened with Grady Diangana, for instance. You know, all right, probably not good enough for West Ham ultimately, but we still went and were able to get some money for him. And the reason we were able to get some money for him was because he was able to showcase his skills for West Ham. That was in the first team. And, you know, lower it was West Brom, obviously looked at it and thought, OK, we'll take a punt. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a big punt at 20 million. And I do think that was a big fee, overinflated what it was worth. But what we've done by, I think, just not selecting him is we've scuppered our chances of even getting 4 million for him or something like that. I think he'll be a decent player. I think he's going to have, you know, a good professional career. At what level? I don't know. But it just smacks of sort of with the left hand not really knowing what the right hand's doing at West Ham, of the academy not working in conjunction with the first team. And I do think this does lead to a bigger problem, by the way. And it's something I've worried about for quite some time, and that is that the younger players, the younger age groups, are at a separate trading ground. And I was listening to, I think it was Phil Neal. It might someone like that. It was one of the old Liverpool players anyway, and he was talking about how Klopp had put all those youngsters in the League Cup final, and actually, even Klopp himself said in the interview that he wasn't surprised because sometimes when he gets to the end of a training session and he does 11 on 11 and he basically calls the young players over, that often they impress and they can, you know, sometimes embarrass the first team. That is not something that can ever happen at West Ham because, well, they're about 5 miles away, aren't they? If you beckon them over, then it's going to take quite a while to gather. They probably won't find their way into the training ground either because the sign's broken. Who's West Hall? This is that's for later on. That place, not for now. No, it's football training. So I do think we're at a massive disadvantage, and I think so are our players. In fact, I would go as far as to say it is a bloody good reason not to sign for West Ham, because the youth team do not train in the same location as the senior team. I don't know. I'd be interested to know what you think about it. But I think if I was a young player and I was looking to sign for a club, I'd want to know. I would want to think if I was signing for West Ham, even if it was 4 football pitches away, but somewhere on that field over there was Mohamed Kudus or Lucas Paquetá or Jared Bowen. That'd be pretty cool. I would want that. And, you know, so I don't think it does us any favours at all. I'm disappointed from Mubama. I really am. I just don't think he had a fair chance. It's not just him, though, and it's not, to be fair, it'd be unfair just to... Those are my observations with the youngster. I think there's, you know, Danny Ings got man of the match, didn't he? Frank McAvenny was going on about that a couple of days ago and said Danny Ings got man of the match. And he didn't get another chance afterwards. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame. And I hope a lot of this stuff gets rectified next season. I really do. You don't ever feel that these youngsters get a good chance at West Ham. I've got to say, just going back to Callum Marshall, it's not like he's doing brilliantly. But anyway, I'm going to leave that alone because Gio is going to do a video. He might be uploading. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing with that. It might be uploading that to Patreon. I don't know. It might be. I don't know what he's doing with that video. But I know Gio's got some pretty strong thoughts on that and what's been going on with the loanees who have gone out like Callum Marshall at West Ham. But there you go. I mean, so you heard it, didn't hear it here first. Don't hear anything here first. But you heard it. You probably heard it here fourth. And so the news is that he's going to be let go at the end of the season. They're asking for too much money. What I would say on that, I'm sure he is asking for too much money. But West Ham's idea of too much money isn't great. It took us ages to get Declan Rice's deal sorted out. We've got the same problem with Ben Johnson as well. I don't think we value our academy players very much. I think a bit of it is going to be about money, though. I think it would be unfair on Mubama to suggest it's all about money. I bet he'd have loved a chance. I bet he'd sign for less money if he thought there was a chance at West Ham. I think the fact of the matter is he knows there's not a chance at West Ham. There's not a pathway for the first team, and I would not surprise me at all if a lower league team has already said to his agent, let him run his deal out. He can play for us, and he'll get regular first team football. And you know what? I reckon even if he was offered regular football to start with off the bench, he'd probably take it. But there you go, he's a young man. He's either 20 or he's very nearly 20. I don't blame him. Good luck to him. Absolutely good luck to him. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Well, namely because there's a football match.